Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, the USO, the UUP, and the GLD. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. Let's get right into the daily SPY today, and what a day it was. 172 million on the SPY. We've been talking about that. This 50 million days, 40 million days, 60 million days, bunch of crap. You get big volume like this is what you get. We were down 426 or 1.77% on the day, so it was a pretty good beatdown. Nothing too crazy, but it was a good pullback off of a high pivot. We could not close above the all-time high, came right back in below the MAs. Let's see if we come down and fill this gap, or do we just snap back and go right up on light volume again. So watch volume tomorrow. Let's see what this thing can do. If we do get follow through, I'd expect possibly the 234 to get tested, maybe, but we'll see how that area reacts unless this thing starts to consolidate, tries to retrace, and then possibly the next leg down. So let's keep an eye on this pattern. So far, it's still intact somewhat. It's still going sideways in a general area. Let's keep an eye on this outside bar day. This is a good red bar reversal off the high, so keep an eye on that, guys, with some pretty good volume. So let's watch what tomorrow brings. It will give us a new piece of the puzzle. Let's go to the IWM. So the IWM, same thing, guys. We talked about this bearish pattern in the last probably 2 weeks. If this thing goes down, starts going sideways, or a little bit of a retrace, we're going to be watching for a bearish pattern up here. It was closing above the 220 and the 50, so it was okay still in a stance. But the pattern here was saying bearish. Started breaking down, got below the trend line here, and here we come. We possibly will come down. I don't know if this is a gap fill or not, but it's going to come probably to this slow pivot around 133.65, and then you have this one down here around 132.31. Ultimately, the 200 MA right around the 131 even number, and 130 will be a big area too. If this thing goes straight through that, you're probably looking at 128, 127.20, and then we'll see if it sets up, and then for lower prices, I'm still looking at 125 down in here, but big area here of support. You had a gap fill as well. Man, good volume today, 50 million. Cracked it down. We're negative on only 4 cents, but the SPY's up a little bit. But man, this is showing some weakness. We talked about this bearish pattern in our videos. Go back, watch the IWM, bearish pattern. Bullish slightly, but bearish pattern setting up. I think this is setting up to go down. We did today. Let's see if we get some follow through tomorrow. That's all we can really do now, guys. If it reverses right back up, then we'll just wait for patterns. We'll wait for, maybe it just goes sideways from here, maybe above this trend line, and then maybe the next sell-off. But let's keep an eye on volume. Let's see what this thing does. If it dries up tomorrow, we'll probably just have a stall day or a pause day. So Qs, what can I say? Staircase up, guys. Boom. Got the first 10 floors of the elevator. Let's see if we get 30 more floors and possibly come down to here. Again, nothing wrong. Still above the MAs, the 50 and the 200. Did close below the 20. Their goal, they'll try to pop it up and keep it above the MAs. And then I'll be watching for sideways action here. Down sideways will be a bearish pattern ultimately, but in a bullish stance being above the MAs, which it is, other than the 20, which it is above the 50 and the 200, like I said. So again, staircase up and possible elevator down situation. Volume did come in, 55 million on the Q, so keep an eye on that. DIA, DIA, same thing. Love the bullish pattern above the MAs. Had to start going here. Never made it to the all-time high again. Bullish pattern starting to fail. Again, not fully failed. I want to see what happens tomorrow. Do we get follow through, or do we get a snapback back above the MAs? And like nothing ever happened. Kind of just pull back and a boop, surprise. Bought the dip, everything's looked good, and then, hype the market, tell everybody, oh my gosh, that was a buying opportunity, this and that. But anyways, if we did get above the highs, you go here, 211, 212 area, and then the ultimately 215, 220, and then here. Again, this pattern, if this starts to fail, guys, these patterns that fail at highs, this could get nasty, so just be careful in these markets. Either way, tighten the stops. If you're starting to get money, if you're short, tighten the stops, take some profits, so just be careful. All right, let's look at the IYT. IYT, guys, we talked about this. Down, sideways, bearish pattern, popped above, say, hey, look at me, buy up here. Boom, stuck it to them, brought it back in. Bearish pattern starting, still a big bearish channel, just going up and down. Boom, we broke it today. Right to the bottom, right to the double bottom, guys. This was down 3.08%. This was a beat down today on here. We are coming into the 200 MA. I'm looking for possible if we end up going down tomorrow, it's going to fight right here. There's going to be some buyers at around 157. 157, pierce up, say 156.83, 160, 56.50 right in there. That let's just look. All right, we even have an area down here which is a gap window, so right around 155.36. So if this thing starts coming in again, remember, down sideways, that's a big bearish pattern here, just chopping, chopping, chopping. It starts to set up. You have some ugly, ugly red bar with some big volume on the IYT. So be careful. These are the transports, guys. Very, very key to the whole market. This one's lagging and leading to the downside. You better watch out. All right, let's go to USO. USO, again, above the 20, got to the breakdown area, consolidating now. Good resistance up in here. That's why it's stalling out too. And it's building pressure to try to pop through the 50 MA. So really, right now, nothing to do. If you're long, just tighten the stop and just enjoy it. If you get more sideways action, this could possibly pop up. You are holding the 382 retrace here, the Fibonacci. And it's got to get above the 50 and then keep going. If it gets above the 200, I'll be very, very surprised. But if it does, then you have some big resistance up in here. But if this thing consolidates maybe for a week or two to set up for an up move, this thing could rip up into this area easily. And that's where we'll be reshorting the USO via the SCO maybe. Maybe we'll put some on here on the SCO. We'll see what happens. The SCO is a little bit more of a beast. But when that thing starts to move, you could get a nice move and get the heck out. But again, nothing wrong with the USO. You are down in a bearish channel. Let's see if we go right back down and keep going chopping, chopping, chopping. If we do that, then I think we're setting up for lower prices. But again, still above the 20 MA, still below the 50 and the 200. So a little bit weak, a little bit bearish. But right now, it's slightly bullish if this keeps going sideways. We need about 5-6 more days on the chart to tell us what's doing. And then the volume wasn't that great. Excuse me, either. So let's go to the UUP. UUP down again, guys. What have we been saying? Bearish pattern. I mean, come on. If you're watching my videos, we talked about it. When it got above here, it was like, all right, let's see if it can consolidate and move higher. Still a big resistance there. Instead, came right back in. Bearish pattern intact again, below the MAs. Boom, boom. We talked about this $25 area for a while. I still think we could fill this gap, but honestly, I think if the markets start going, we could fill this gap down in here, maybe. I'm gonna wait for lower prices after seeing this action. See if we can get to this gap fill, see how this reacts. Still 25 is a big area. You do have 124.85 a gap around 24.73, so you got to look for that. But right now, wow, that was pretty incredible. We're being patient on this one. I'm trying to be patient. A lot of stuff's overshooting. Stocks are going up for no reason. And, down for no reason, overshooting up levels, overshooting down levels, and coming back with a good bounce. So trying to be patient, especially on stocks like this. If this is 24, comes back to 26, $2 gain, that's a big gain. We're out. We're done. So UUP, be careful with this one if you're long. Looks like we are a little bit weak. But, we were making higher lows or lower highs. And it was following this trend line until we broke above that. We were possibly heading down. So bearish, going down. On the daily. All right, let's talk about the GLD, guys. Again, you go to my video, we talked about it. The only way they're getting it above this, the easiest way, you got the gap, you got this, they gap it up. and almost back above this. Hold on here. I didn't see this one. Yeah, look at that. Hell, it's holding it right now. Gosh, even above the trend. Where does this trend line come from? From those lows. Jeez, look at that. Even above the trend line. So when you don't want to deal with resistance, what do? You gap it up. Just like the SPY. Remember the SPY when that gapped up? Here, let me go back one. If everyone's stuck around long enough. Like this day. Remember? All this resistance, trend lines. What do you got to do? Gap it up. You got another pivot top? Gap it up. Then they got into the gap fill. Then they try to get above the pivot. And then see how they try to break it out. And then boom, straight down. What do you think is going on with the GLD? Same thing. They bring it down, goes into this trend line down in here. Boom, boom, boom. It's like, oh no, we're coming to this. Either do we go sideways for a week or two, or do we gap it up and keep it going? So let's see if they gap and go this thing. If the markets come in again a little bit, I think we'll end up going higher. They're up 46 cents on the SPY, so maybe some news is subsiding or something. It's the news-driven market now, guys. But the gold trade intact, still doing great. Everyone was at, you could have bought here maybe. I would have liked at least 114 for me. I would have been a buyer at 110 again, right in that area where I pretty much my positions run 110.58, right in there, 110.68, something like that. But God, what a it's so evil, guys. The gap it above, it's pretty incredible, the stuff. I mean, look at all that resist. This thing it was like a brick wall. It would have hit it and would have probably came right back in. Instead, pop. And then let's see if they get it going. Maybe it does come right back in. If it comes right back in, then maybe lower prices. If this thing follows through, then I think we're going to make a run for these highs then. And we'll see again. We'll see where the markets are going and stuff like that. The Jnug though, guys, dang, I wish I would have took some. This was the area. That was the low level. That was at like that 384. It actually, you know, when it was back around $3, it probably would have went to 350 right in that area, and then boom, took off. We almost pulled the trigger on one of these 2 days here. It might have been the last day, but I think it was the second to last day before it took off, and it was like, huh. But it popped up, and I was like, well, yeah, I'm just gonna if it's gonna go up, it's gonna go up without me. So there it goes, guy. But remember, someone got in around 14. This thing's $20. That's the $6 move. There might be some profit taking on this, so be real careful with the Jnug right now. If you're still underwater, you could probably hold on, but just beware. If you're looking for short-term gains, you got to get out. The GDXJ, right into gap fill. We talked about these gap fills to 50 MA. Let's see if they gap it above and keep this thing going. Right now, I mean, they didn't do a big job on this one like they did with gold, but gosh, we're right into that area. And this is why I held. This is a big area right here too. So let's see if we consolidate. Let's see if we get above the 50 MA. If this thing keeps going, this thing will keep, probably go to this double top. This pivot here around $38, and then this pivot here around 38.51, and then of course the 200 MA. See how it reacts up there. But you know, if this thing takes off up here, Jnug's going to start ripping. So still be careful with this one. Again, even on this, if you bought, you know, around $30, $4, that's a heck of a trade. Jnug too, guys. So don't get too greedy on these. Remember, they, you know, they go up. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, this is what we're looking for: trend line breakout, and then boom, going up. Just like on, I could put that on the GDXJ. But we break above that, honestly, we could probably go to 45. But if we get to 28.32 or somewhere in there, you got to take some off the table. Let the last quarter ride, or if you're not taking something off in here when we get to the 50 MA, unless it pops up, got to take some off the table. Remember, guys, small trades, just a lot of them, and just keep banging them out. That's all we do. We keep covering trades every day in our swing trades on StockBookie.com. Yeah, guys, if you're not a member, go there, sign up. It's free, and you'll get the videos like this, like email alerts to our trade ideas, and email alerts to our live sessions, and these videos. When we post our videos, we send you an email, so you're aware of what's going on in the market. So if you like these videos, sign up, guys. It's free. But again, we take a lot of trades. I believe we have 91 trades on our StockBookie.com site, and they're slowly coming in. We covered like 4 today, I believe we did. We covered a couple the other day. I think out of all these trades, we've covered half. Half of them we covered maybe about 15 of the trades, and then we closed out probably 4 or 5 of them right now. And guys, if we get some more down movement in these markets, we're going to have half these covered in no time, and possibly a quarter of these out. So in a couple months, we'll have maybe 25 winners or so, 30 winners, and we have a bunch out there that are possibly going to come rolling in. They're all short, they're all high flyers. Check it out, StockBookie.com. You have to become a member, and then you get all the stuff for free. So go there, sign up. All right, I know I sound like a broken record, but thanks, guys, for following the videos. If you stuck around this long, I really do appreciate it. I'm hopefully going to do some webinars and stuff like that, and some more live stuff coming up. So watch out for the email alerts. And gosh, let's see if these markets can pull back a little bit more, guys. If they do, we're going to really, oh my gosh, these high flyers are going to come falling, crashing down, guys. We're going to make a lot of money here. So, all right, guys, thanks again for watching the videos. God bless. See you on the charts.